Hello, fellow seekers. I hope you all are doing well. I hope your week has been good so far. If it hasn't, I think a dose of Darrell. I think I'm just done trying to say Darrell the way he used to have it said because he didn't appreciate it when he did have it said correctly. So he's just gonna be Darrell now. I'm not gonna try to say it. I'm not gonna do the Darrell. That's too fancy for him. So if you feel bad about yourself, all you have to do is watch Darrell and your spirits will lift immediately. So I'm picking up where we left off. The last one was with Chris Johnson. And of course, Darrell was throwing a fit about the evidence and that he was being missed, or he felt like he was being overlooked. And so now Chris has just gotten off the stand, and in the last video, Darrell was talking about he didn't know about the hat that had already been up there because of him, and nobody can approach the witnesses. And so Miss Opper gets him straight right away about some evidence that's already put up there for the next. I was going to say contestant. It almost feels like a game show, doesn't it? The next witness, Trevor, who will be testifying. And I do have a complete version of Chris and Trevor, who's coming up here now, on my playlist. It's titled "Darrell Brooks Throws a Fit About Things Being Unfair, Thinks he knows more than the DNA analyst." Or analyst, that's right. And I think that it's right here with Trevor that he really just thinks he knows what the heck is going on. I don't know what the heck is going on, so why would Darrell think he knows more than me or any of us other regular folk? So I know with Chris, I did mostly the cross-exam by Darrell, but I'm going to start off at the beginning since there's already Sue has to point out that she had to move an exhibit up there. So let's just get on with it. I'm going to quit yammering and just let's get on with it, shall we?
Into evidence. I believe there's an objection.
Yes, there is an objection.
He's objecting about what's already done.
Testimony of the prior witness. It is received. And who do we have coming up to the stand?
Your Honor, the state next calls Trevor Naleid, and for the record, he was handed a copy of Exhibit 91 on his way to the witness stand.
All right.
So in other words, she's saying, "Shut the hell up, Darrell." And that, who I'm sure is a journalist, can't stop being tickled. She understands. And I tell you, and look, certainly I can't think of anyone's name, even though she is going to laugh, and he's about ready to just I think, blow a gasket. It's if this weren't so hideous, it would be a great, I feel like I'm on Saturday Night Live or something. But let's continue. Sorry about that. Here we go.
Thank you. Sir, could you please stand and raise your right hand? My clerk, Teresa, will swear you in.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you. Be seated. And just for the record, what is 91? I know you're going to get to it, but...
91 is Mr. Naleid's report, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Then... All right. Good. I guess evening, sir. The first thing I will have you do is to state your first and last names for the record, and then spell each, please.
Sure. My name is Trevor Naleid, TREVORNALEID.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. Sir, where do you work?
I am employed by the Wisconsin Department of Justice at the State Crime Laboratory in Madison.
And what is your position there?
I'm a senior forensic scientist in the DNA analysis unit.
How long have you worked there?
11 and a half years.
Could you please describe the work you do there?
Sure. I examine evidence for the presence of biological fluids such as blood, semen, and saliva, and then attempt to extract the DNA from those items. From there, I will make comparisons to standards from known individuals in the case.
And what's your educational background, please?
I have a bachelor's degree from the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse in biochemistry and a master's degree from the University of Florida in forensic DNA and serology.
University of Florida. Go
Do you
Gators.
have any training specific for your position at the Wisconsin State Crime Lab?
I do, yes.
Please describe that for the jury.
I underwent approximately a 1-year-long internal training program that included the screening techniques we use, presumptive and confirmatory tests for blood, semen, and saliva. Excuse me. From there, I learned the extraction techniques, quantitation, amplification, and typing methods that our lab uses. From there, I learned data interpretation as well as statistical analysis.
Did you do any casework while you were in training?
Mock cases.
Okay.
I completed two competency tests, 2 mock cases, a mock court, and then after completing those, I completed an extensive written exam as well as statistical tests.
Did you actually work with DNA samples, processing and analyze DNA samples during your training?
I did, yes.
About how many times?
About 175 samples.
Is the Wisconsin State Crime Lab accredited?
Yes, it is.
What does that mean?
Our lab's accredited under the ISO 17025-2017. Essentially, it's just a voluntary program that any lab can enter to show that it meets established standards. They control our proficiency testing that's done twice a year.
Do you personally have any certification or accreditation personally?
No, just the lab accreditation.
Just the lab, okay. How many forensic DNA cases have you worked?
Just over 500.
And about how many DNA samples have you processed?
Over 2,000.
Overruled, the witness may answer. Sorry,
Objection.
will you repeat your answer?
Over 2,000.
Have you previously testified in court before?
Objection to relevancy.
Overruled, the witness may answer. As a reminder, there may be objections.
Excuse me.
Rule on those objections.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, you may.
That still kills me because it's almost like it's their fault that he's interrupting with his objection and they have to wait for him. But he likes that. That's his power. That's his control. Oh my gosh. Objection. Gosh. He's run out of... Okay, we'll go on a few more minutes and then I'll probably jump over to his cross-examination. But it's a little bit too good to pass up right now, isn't it?
Answer.
Thank you. I'd like to ask you a little bit further about DNA analysis and how that works, okay?
Sure.
What is DNA? We hear a lot about it. What is it?
DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's essentially the genetic blueprint that makes us what we are. It codes for us to have 2 legs, 2 arms, hair color, eye color, etc.
And where's DNA found in the human body?
Objection.
What is that?
Overruled, foundational, the witness may answer.
Objection for
DNA
that?
is found in the
Please.
nucleus of a cell.
Is it the same in every cell throughout the body?
In every cell that has a nucleus, yes, such as white blood cells and skin cells.
And is that important in your analysis?
Objection leading.
Overruled, foundational, you may answer.
Good
Yes.
gosh.
Why?
Objection leading.
Overruled, go ahead.
It's important because we can take samples, evidentiary samples that may be from blood or saliva, and compare them with known standards, which are typically buccal swabs, which are swabs from the inside of the cheek, or dried blood standards of the case.
Does each individual have unique DNA?
Everybody except identical twins is unique.
Okay. Are you familiar with something known as STR analysis?
Objection leading.
Overruled, foundational, the witness may answer.
Yes, I am.
What is STR analysis, please?
STR stands for short tandem repeat analysis. Over 99% of DNA is the same from person to person. So we're looking at that 1% that varies from individual to individual. Short tandem repeats are very small sequences of DNA that repeat over and over. So at one location, I may have 12 of these repeats, where another individual may have 14.
All right, I'm going to jump on over to his Darrell's cross exam because Darrell's just mad because he's really, the evidence is stacking up and stacking up, to quote Sue Opper, and he's got nothing. He's got nothing but time and a pissy attitude.
Exhibit 91 is received. Any reason to keep the exhibits to witness?
Can I see that last exhibit? I'm thinking that's
91?
the 87 with the sweatshirt.
You want me to hold it up or?
Yeah. Is that 87?
That is 84.
84?
This hat that I'm holding up is 87. And then he has 91, which is his report.
Oh,
I'll keep that in
God.
front of
You
him
know that
now,
with a
or he can
report,
keep
he's
that
going
in
to
front
ask
of
dumb
him now.
questions like, did you take a creative writing course?
Go ahead when you're ready.
Who reviewed it? How many pages? When did you turn it in? Okay, I'll shut up.
These DNA analysis with star mix. I'm a little curious to get clarification on what does it mean when you say mixture? What exactly does that mean?
A mixture just means that it is more than one person present in the profile.
And just to interrupt for a second, most of the DNA that was recovered was Darrell and Erica Patterson. There was some, I think, from maybe one or two of the victims, but primarily it's Darrell and Erica. Mostly Darrell, just FYI.
So by it being more than one person present in the profile, would it be fair to say that would constitute it being more than one person?
Yes.
That was kind of redundant, wasn't it? Oh, God. Look at that face. He's like, oh, God, I already listened to him while waiting my turn. This is going to be a fiasco.
The gear shift had a three-person mixture, so would that apply to the gear shift the same, that it would likelihood there's three different people's DNA on the gear shift?
That's correct.
And for the steering wheel, a two-person mixture, so that would be two people for DNA for the steering wheel?
Correct.
Look at him trying to sound all smart. Does that mean it's two people? A mixture? Oh my gosh. But now he's going to get cocky and he's going to start to sound really dumb. I mean, he does already, but worse. Worse than this. Again, and none of this is helping him. None of this.
Do you recall when you did this DNA analyzation? I'm sorry.
On any specific item, or all of them?
Do you recall when you did all the items, I guess?
So most of the items were collected in November. They were not transferred to the Madison lab until the end of January.
Why
So
so
I
long?
started, I believe January 31st was the first day that I started analysis. And then my report was written April 29th.
So you started the analysis at the end of January,
Correct.
and you did your report in April. Why so long?
See?
I generated
Why so long?
583 pages, and my report's 15 pages long, so that takes a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm. I should say.
So you broke down the 583 pages into 15.
Correct.
He's looking at him like, you gotta be kidding me.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know why it took from November to January for you to actually get the items that you were going to analyze for DNA?
Other than me picking up the case then, not really, no, I don't know.
Do you know where the items were kept prior to you receiving them?
Yes.
Can you state for the jury or for the record?
For the jury, for the
Our
record.
evidence technicians, when they came to the Madison lab, put them into storage where all evidence is stored.
Were the items sealed like they are now?
Yes.
And so I'm assuming you had to unseal them, get them out of the sealing packages to do the analyzation. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct, yes.
Oh my God. He's just kind of like repeating everything that's already been written and
And
said.
did you yourself alone do the analyzation, or did you have other people that you worked with?
I did all of the DNA myself.
Did you repackage the items after you were done yourself?
Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
And did you return them back to where you had received them from, or did you keep them at your, I think you said the Madison lab?
I'm based out of the Madison lab, yes. Typically, when we're done with evidence, we will return them to our evidence technicians, who will then put them back into storage. When the case is done, the evidence is then returned to the submitting agency.
So the items are still at your lab, is from your knowledge?
Now?
Yeah.
No.
He said they returned.
Well, I asked that. Let me give you some clarity. I asked that because you
Please.
said at the completion of the case, they would be returned to the agency that you received them from. So I was kind of.
No. You still sounded stupid. No.
So do you know if they were returned to the agency you received them from already?
I believe they were.
Oh my God.
So it'd be fair to say in this situation, the items weren't continued to be stored at the Madison lab.
Oh my gosh.
That's correct.
Look at his face. He's like, I can't believe I have to listen to these stupid questions. They are at the other. They went back to the other place. Did you get that, Darrell? Yep. Many of you said when he reads, his head moves back and forth like a typewriter. You would be correct.
A lot of these DNA analysis, I noticed that specifically DNA was analyzed for 8 people. Would that be fair to say?
Sounds right, yes.
And specifically referring to the analysis that had 3-person mixtures and things of that nature, what happens to the 3rd-person mixture that is excluded?
I
Is
don't
it any way?
understand the question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
Darrell doesn't understand the question. Don't worry.
I guess I'm referring to when someone is excluded which I interpret as ruled out,
Mm-hmm.
there's still that mystery third mixture. Can that third mixture be identified in some way, or how does that work?
Sorry. Yes, we would need a standard submitted from another person who they believe could possibly be the source of that DNA.
So would it be fair to say for the analysis that you did that had 3-person mixtures, there's still a DNA that you found that's unknown?
That's correct.
And can you explain what is CODIS? Is that pronounced right? CODIS or Kodak?
Yes, it is.
Can you explain what CODIS is?
CODIS stands for the Combined DNA Index System, and it is a database of known individuals.
And when you find that a DNA, I'm guessing, I don't know if the right word to use would be sample, or I don't know if that's correct. When you come to the conclusion that a DNA sample is not eligible for entry into CODIS, what exactly does that mean?
There are certain rules that we must abide by for putting profiles into CODIS. Depending on where it's collected from, pretty much determines the eligibility on whether or not we can put it in.
One of your analysis had a 4-person mixture. Were you able to determine out of the 8 DNAs that you ran if any of those DNAs were found on that specific item?
Your Honor, I object that it's vague. I'm not sure which item he's referring to.
So vague.
I'm referring to, it says brim of maroon winter style hat.
What page are you on, please, sir?
6.
All right, so you want directing the witness to page 6?
Yes.
That particular item?
Yes, that's where I'm reading from, yeah.
Okay.
God.
Did you ask the question?
Yeah, I said this one in particular, the one I'm referring to, has a 4-person mixture. Did your analysis identify any one of those 4 people out of the 8 DNA samples that you were analyzing?
No, it did not.
Yeah. Well, everyone will just sit and wait while he reads through the report that he has no clue about. And to be honest, I wouldn't either, but he really doesn't, even though
Would it
he
be fair to say for
thinks he does. Oh my gosh.
pretty much all the items that you did analysis on, there were at minimum 2 or 3 person mixtures?
No.
And
Try again.
why would you say that?
Why question a
Typically in
man?
our reports, we lump the star mix samples together. If you look before that, it will have items that were single source profiles.
That's why I said the majority of, or if not all. I didn't say every single one.
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't say the majority, no.
The man, we listened. Look, I gotta stop. I'm sorry. Look, we already listened to the man's education, his credentials. How could Darrell be questioning any of this stuff that he has no clue about? I guess you could almost say it must be nice to be that confident about yourself. But then that also means that you have to subject yourself to looking like an idiot. But Darrell is so confident he doesn't think he looks like an idiot. Oh, man.
He looks that way.
Wow. See, I would have said, what did she say? Something about the jury discard, ignore whatever he's saying. Don't pay attention to what he's saying, but maybe by then the jury's already got the memo. But doesn't you love it? It certainly looks that way. Like he knows more than this man with all of this. You know what? I can't even find the words of my own self. I'm getting dumbed down by Darrell. Okay, go ahead. Let's see your next scintillating question. We can't wait. God.
Is it autosomal? How do you say that word?
Autosomal.
Autosomal. STRDNA results and conclusions. That starts on page 5. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct, yes.
Mm.
And ends on page 13. Would that be fair to say?
That's correct, yes.
Mm. All right.
Would it be fair to say that page 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7,
Oh my gosh. Why don't you just say almost all the pages?
and 6. Out of all those pages, only 3 have single source, and all the rest of them have at least 2 or 3 mixtures. Would that be fair to say?
No.
And can you point out where the inaccuracy may be?
Sure.
Yeah, it's you. You're the inaccuracy.
Yeah, on page 6, the first profile that you're looking at, cuttings of the apparent hair from the gas tank strap. That's a single source profile.
That's 1.
The next line, the cutting of the unlit end of the blunt is 1.
2.
Cuttings of the apparent roots from the hairs, which is CC4, CC5, and CC8. So that's 3 items right there.
So you're looking at the actual heading.
That's correct.
And is that it from?
On that page, yes.
Any other pages?
Which direction, Mr. Brooks? Forward or backwards?
I don't consent to being called that name. We're going from page 6.
Are you asking single source profiles?
Yeah, what are you
Page
asking?
7. From page
What?
7, do you see any single
Gosh.
source? Or yes, I guess it would be called single source.
No. Page 6 to 13, as you previously stated, those are my star mix ones. So each one of those is going to be a mixture profile.
So the majority of them have a mixture of persons.
In those pages, yes, but there are many single source profiles before the star mix conclusions.
Darrell, stop it. You're getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Might as well go on and ask him about the plaintiff. If he's an injured party, has he met the plaintiff? Has he had dinner with the plaintiff? Has he seen the plaintiff? He loves to be the center of attention and just ask these idiotic questions. Looks like he might
Do you recall who
be
you
onto
turned
something.
your report over to once you finished your
Oh boy.
report?
For technical review?
I'm sorry, can you repeat
For
that?
technical review?
I'm referring to once you had finished your written report. Do you recall who you turned that over to?
Yes.
You stated for the jury and for the record.
With the jury.
Kelly Gajewski was my tech reviewer.
With the jury and for the record.
Can you spell that last name for the record?
It's Gajewski, Gajewski.
Thank you.
And do you know what happened to the written report from that point?
After she reviews it, sent it back for edits, and then I fixed those. It was approved by her. Then it goes to a supervisor for an administrative review.
Fix the edits? What do you mean by fix the edits?
Oh
If there's
my
any
gosh.
typos or anything like that, it'll come back. Or if I
Please
forgot
don't
to
ask him about the creative writing
initial the
course.
page or
Please.
something
The
like
creative
that,
writing course
I'll
questions.
fix those and then send it back to her for approval.
Called like proofreading, kind of, sort of. Darrell.
Working with law enforcement,
Oh dear.
which you've stated you've done numerous times.
Mm-hmm.
And in regards to written reports,
Please don't ask him about the creative writing question. No.
to your knowledge, are you aware of officers taking
Wait for it. Wait for it.
a creative writing course?
Objection relevant.
Grounds.
Bada boom.
Sustained.
Look at Basie. She's laughing at the utter stupidity of it. He's so predictable. Y'all,
Have you yourself ever taken a creative writing course?
Objection relevant.
Sustained. Not relevant. Next question.
you're wasting time.
Have you or anyone you know filed a complaint in this matter?
Here we go.
No.
Would you consider yourself an injured party in this matter?
No.
Ever directly talk to the plaintiff in this matter?
Here we go.
Don't know how I would talk to the state of Wisconsin.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I
Oh,
do not
please
know how I would talk
don't
to the state of Wisconsin.
give it to him.
Entity
Not a person, right?
Oh, yeah, look at him. He thinks, oh, he's so happy now. Okay, you can conclude it now, Darrell. You're done.
No further questions?
Thank you. Can you redirect?
Yes. Sir, on page 6 of your report, you were identifying for the defendant some of the single source profiles that you developed. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And one of the items you described as items CC4A, CC5A, and CC8A. Do you see that?
Objection leading.
Yeah, shut up.
Overruled. The witness may answer. Go ahead.
Yes, I do.
What do those items represent?
Objection leading.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Those are cuttings of the apparent root ends of the hairs that I took off the sweatshirt.
Mm.
Got to ask you about the hairs.
Objection leading.
Did you?
It's not leading.
I'm sorry, that was a statement. I'll move on, Your Honor.
Thank you.
You told Mr. Brooks on cross that you developed a single source profile for those hairs. Is that right?
Objection, I don't consent to being called their name and
Wait.
misleading the witness.
No, it's
The
not.
objections are noted. Overruled. The witness may answer.
That's correct.
Who was the source of those hairs on that sweatshirt? States exhibit number 84.
Objection speculative.
It's not
Overruled.
speculative.
Go ahead and answer.
Darrell Brooks. This is the source.
Thank you.
Score.
Nothing else.
Thank you, sir. You may step down.
Now watch. Even after all that, Darrell's gonna sit there and look all proud. Look at him. Because the guy said it, the state of Wisconsin was
I
an
would love
entity.
another witness. We're going to break for the night because it is 5:49. So, with that, I will
See, look at
give
him.
the instructions that I've been giving every night to the jury.
What the hell is that? He really thinks he did well. Okay, here we go.
So please listen. Do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case.
Well, there you go. That was short. Shorter than most. But nonetheless, I think entertaining. And it definitely highlights Darrell's utter inability to be a real attorney. Actually, a real attorney, a real human being. Maybe he's an entity like the state of Wisconsin. Who knows? We just know that we are all so glad he's in prison and we could enjoy this more. But unfortunately, I never want to lose sight of the victims because they're the ones and their families, all those poor people who their lives and their families were forever changed by this monster, really. But we will continue, while we're remembering the victims, we will continue to roast Darrell and try to make the most of it, because I do believe humor and joy, somehow you got to find it during situations such as these. So I will step off my soapbox for now. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, commenting, subscribing. I truly, truly appreciate each and every one of you all, and who've been on, especially those of you who've been with me, if I can talk, through this journey, and hope that you'll continue on. And if you're new, if it's your first time here, welcome. Be prepared to be hopefully somewhat entertained. And just something different to do, I always learn something from all of these trials. And no matter how many times I watch them, every time I go back to wherever, I learn something new. So, enough of that. Be sure to be kind to one another. Be kind to yourself. Again, I love and appreciate each and every one of you so much. And I will see you the next time.